Okay, let's get into the second one. The second one is words of affirmations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes to hear nice things. Everybody wants to hear good things about themselves. Everybody wants to be picked up when they're down. Everybody wants to smile when they're frowning and having a bad day. So, how do you feel about words of affirmation, baby? What do you feel like um, is the best way to go about words of affirmation? The best timing of it? Give us. What do you think?
So my perspective on words of affirmation is it's very, very important. Not only just for yourself, but for your spouse as well, because affirmations are something that we practice in self care and self love, and I believe that hearing it from somebody is close to you, as far as such as your partner, is just so much more powerful rather than hearing it from other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I always go back to in a genuine way.
Yeah,
Don't say it just because, like, just to say it, because that typically will water it down on the days that you do mean it.
yeah,
So
that's big.
it is important to share words of affirmation, and it doesn't always have to be like, you are a king today, and I serve you, and
Yeah, that's the
you
social
are,
media
yeah, we
version of it.
that's not always words of affirmation. I tell him it could be the smallest thing. I'm like, baby, you smell good today.
Yeah, yeah.
Babe, I like how your hair looks today. Like, you know what I
Mm.
mean? Or it could be the smallest things, and it could be, or even just like a personality thing. Oh my gosh, babe, like you always make me laugh. Like you're very like I love your humor. Something that it could be characteristics. It
I'll
doesn't
give
have
you
to
a
be
cheat code.
physical.
I'll give a cheat code for you guys. As a man, if you're a woman listening, as a man, some things that you could say as words of affirmation that men love hearing is, "Babe, you're. I would have never figured out how to do that without you." Men love, men
Of
love,
course,
men love being needed, and men love, and women do too. But
yeah,
men love that feeling of I'm teaching something to my household. I'm passing down knowledge. I'm passing down wisdom on how to do something.
I
You
agree.
know, I think
Yeah.
men love that. So a cheat code is something like that. You could say, "Baby, I appreciate you. I would have never figured that out without you." That's a huge just affirmation that you can give to your partner. That will make them feel like, as a man, it'll make them feel like, "Dang, all right, she loved me because I teach her stuff."
Yeah.
You know,
Of course.
or you could say, like Dave said, "You smell so good," or the handsome thing is cool, but when you start getting into details of, "Babe, I love the way that shirt looks on you," or "Babe," because men don't get those type of compliments typically. We don't walk in the world. Women get compliments on, "Oh, girl, I love your shirt. I love your shoes. I love your nails." Men, we don't get that typically. It's normally like, you know. So the "I love your smell" is a really good one. What do you think of some as a woman that you feel men should say that really make women feel good?
I think some things that my biggest one, to be honest, is I love when he says he's proud of me. That makes me feel so good. I don't know what it is, but because us as women, we work so hard. Even if you're a stay at home
That's true.
wife, if you are whatever it is that you do in your everyday life, like us being a woman is hard. Like we have a lot to do as far as even just keeping up with just not just our appearance, because that's what helps keep our mans and
Mhm.
all the other things that we do for him. But it is a lot of things go overlooked, and I love when he says he's proud of me because it makes me feel like he acknowledges the things that I've
I
done.
was just gonna use that word.
Yeah, that he acknowledges the things that I've done throughout the day, because he could just be like, babe, I'm proud of you. Like today,
Hmm.
you did your thing. Like, yeah, you like dinner was amazing. The house looks good. Like you look amazing, and
Hmm.
to do that all in one day is just. So my big one is like, I'm proud of you, and I want to say I, lo- I like when he tells me my skin looks good, but that's just a personal thing,
Yeah.
cause
I think the key word that you said there was acknowledgement. I think acknowledgement is the biggest part of affirmations because that's what we're doing. We're acknowledging that we see something and affirming that it's a good thing and that it makes us feel good. And how she says that she likes to hear, "I'm proud of you." I believe that men, and I know that I like a lot when she tells me things like that too. Like what she'll say to me is, "You're doing a great job." And sometimes that feels good because you don't know if you're doing a good job or not. You're kind of just work, home, take care of the kids, and you're ripping and running. And I'm sure that's just a relationship thing in general from either side. But it does feel good to hear, "Hey, you're doing a great job, and I'm really happy, and you're doing a great job. Keep going." That
yeah.
makes a man want to get up and go harder for his woman. Just hearing those affirmations, that feels really good. So, yeah, I think words of affirmation is a really powerful thing, and if you get mastery of it, man, you can really control energy in your home, the energy in your relationship, because everybody wants to hear good words.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to feel good.
Words of affirmation. I mean, we do it even with our kids,
Yep.
like tell your kids good job or you did great today or whatever the case may be. But again, always just coming from a genuine place, and don't ever say words of affirmation in hopes that you're gonna get one right back. So
Yeah.
that's not genuine, So don't say, "Oh, babe, you look good today," because you want him to tell you you look good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And vice versa.
Vice
So
versa.
I do believe that it's words of affirmation are very, very powerful, and it's deeper than, again, that you just look good in the outer appearance. Sometimes I have to let him know, like, babe, you're not only a good husband, but you're a good father.
She does do
You're a
that.
good son. You're a good leader. You're all of these things. And sometimes I do it when, like, I do see that, like, maybe he's a little down or his energy's a little off.
Mm.
But for the most part, like, I just do it throughout the day. It could be random as hell. Like, I just literally just be like, baby, you look good today.
Yeah.
Or, babe, like, you know what I mean? Like, randomly, because it takes 2 seconds and it costs me not a freaking dollar. Like, I don't care. Like, if it's on the top of my mind or it comes to my mind, I let it out.
Yeah.
It's something positive, and I don't, it can't hurt. So
Yeah. And you got to make sure that you leave words of affirmation as positive things, and make sure that, because words go both ways. You can say negative words and really destroy your relationship and really hurt your relationship just because you're being too critical at times. I think, man, we're guilty of that a lot because we're so logical and analytical. I think that we forget that words have a lot of power behind them. And so you have to watch what you say. You can't do too much criticizing. You can't do too much, pointing out the negative things. I think it's a balance in that, of being real with your partner, and being positive. And it's a very thin line between being real and being negative. So I think that it's a learning process to go through, but you have to get to a space where the affirmations are coming out and they're mostly positive. Because you can give a person 10 compliments, and the one criticism won't hurt as bad because you gave 10 compliments this day. But you start getting to a space where it's 5 compliments, 5 criticisms, it starts to feel like everything that you're saying is negative, even if you gave 5 positive words of affirmation. So it goes both ways. You have to really stay in that positive frequency when you're talking about words of affirmation.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's real. That's, if you want, because a lot of people think, like, well, what big of a difference could it really make for me to tell my man, like, oh, you're good at this, you're this, and X, Y, and Z. But think about how negative comments have such a big impact. It's the
Yes.
same with positive. We just don't give it enough credit. Because think of how much, if your man tells you, like, damn, like, you could have did better on your hair today, that would crush you.
Yep.
So think of how, the negative, how much of an impact that has, and take that and use it in a positive way, because it does work the same.
Yeah, it does. And babe, you have a saying that she says nobody leaves positive reviews. When we're like looking at
Oh,
reviews
yeah.
on Google, she like, it's always negative. Like, people would run and people are excited to tell you about the bad story that they had, but nobody ever is excited to tell you about the positive story that they had. So, and when you do
It's
see,
rare.
if you look at Google reviews for any businesses, or any, like, you're going to a restaurant, you look at the reviews. When you see a bunch of positive comments, it makes you excited to go to that restaurant. It makes you feel like, okay, this is something that's worth something, and this is of value. And the same thing it does with negative reviews, negative comments, like, oh, I would never go there, right? So it does the same thing to us personally. It makes a person feel good when they get positive reviews, and it makes a person feel horrible, equally horrible, when they get negative. So I think you got to be careful on both sides of words of affirmation, and make sure that you're affirming your partner in the right way, in the positive ways, right, baby?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good like comparison. I like that. Comparing of affirmations to Google reviews. But yes, it is true. I agree with that. That was really cool.